We all say we want our kids to be brave and use their voice and chase their dreams and become whatever they want to be. Beautiful. Love that. But what are they learning if they never see us do the same? What are they picking up if their example of adulthood is a mother who was settled, who got smaller, who got practical and slowly packed away those parts of herself that still wanted something big? I don't want that. I don't want that for you. Your kids deserve to see what it looks like when a woman goes for it. Welcome to the Watch Me podcast. This is a podcast about challenging the stories in your head, breaking the boxes people put you in, and becoming the woman you are always capable of being. I'm Lauren, but you can call me Lo. And today we are going to talk about dreaming bigger. More specifically, I want to talk about why we even stopped in the first place. There is this lie that wanting more somehow makes you selfish, that the way fear describes itself as practicality. There's a fact that confidence doesn't arrive before action, no matter how badly we want it to. And then there's the real life part of it all, where you still have responsibilities, kids, work, bills, expectations, and somehow you're supposed to figure it all out and not abandon yourself in the middle of all that. And dreaming bigger sounds amazing when it lives in your head. And the second it starts to become real for you, though, the vibe changes. Being visible is one thing when you're imagining it. Letting people watch you try is another. And the possibility of judgment and rejection or looking stupid and suddenly one day starts feeling a lot safer than like right now. And that's where people stall out. Wanting more does something uncomfortable. It forces honesty. It makes you admit that the life you have right now might not fully be the life you want. Parts of it might fit. Parts of it might feel beautiful, but other parts may feel too tight or too small or not fully yours anymore. And even saying that out loud can make people feel guilty. Like we want to always, well, I have enough. This is great. My life is great. I shouldn't want more because look at everything I have, and then look at everything I have and look at what other people don't have. I should be grateful. I should be happy with enough. And most of us weren't raised to tell that kind of truth. We were taught to be realistic, to keep our head down, to pay our dues, to stop asking for more, to wait our turn, to stay in our lane, to not be too ambitious or too loud or too much. And enough repetition, that script just starts to sound normal. And I know exactly what that feels like. A few years ago, I was talking to somebody at work. And it was somebody I trusted, and I was talking about a raise. I was doing more than my job description. I was carrying more than I was being paid for. And nothing about that was confusing to me. I wasn't being entitled or emotional. I was being accurate. On a list of paper, I was doing more. And her response was basically like, you're asking for too much. Keep your head down, pay your dues. They'll come to you when they think you deserve more. In other words, wanting more was the issue. Not the imbalance of what was being asked of me, not the work. My hunger was the issue, supposedly. That stayed with me. Like smallness usually doesn't get handed to us in one giant dramatic moment. More often, it shows up in these little comments, the side advice, the offhand reactions, the weird energy in the rooms, and all those tiny little moments. They teach you to doubt yourself. And they teach you to doubt yourself just enough to just keep shrinking. Love can totally still be present in these moments. Fear can be too. Plenty of people hand out these limitations like they're being helpful. They don't know a difference. Sometimes they truly believe they are being helpful because they love you. Still, to that person, somebody else's ceiling does not need to become your standard. My career, it started early. I have been working since I was 16. I got in the industry I'm currently in at 21, and I had to work my way up. I did not go to school. I don't have a degree. I literally started at the bottom to get where I'm at in a male-dominated environment, by the way, male-dominated industry. And that adds a whole extra layer to that. There are rooms where being young and being a woman already has people deciding how seriously they're going to take you, even before you've opened your mouth. And when that happens enough, that also gets in your head. And suddenly, hesitation starts sounding reasonable. Maybe later, start sounding wise. Your time isn't now. You haven't earned it yet. More proof is needed. Maybe some magical outside permission will show up and make it easier to move. And that permission slip usually never comes, right? Honestly, that's probably for the best. The woman you are becoming cannot build her life around being picked. At some point, you have to decide you're going to do it anyway. And for me, my dreams have never been small. I want to speak on stages. I want to write a book. And not just any book. I'm talking my vision board says New York Times bestseller. I'm talking about that kind that leaves a mark, the kind that somebody reads and sits up straighter because something inside her fully clicked. and reminds a woman who she is. And those dreams have felt exciting. They felt ridiculous sometimes and inspiring and exposing. But along with that also came that question like, who do I think I am? Why me? What makes me special? And I think those are the wrong questions. A better one would be like, why would I spend my whole life acting like what's in me doesn't matter? Nobody else has my exact story. Nobody else has my exact voice, my mind, the life I've been through, my pain, my humor, my perspective. It's all mine. And the same thing is true for you. No one gets your exact combination. That doesn't make you better than anybody else. It just means there are things that only you make sense through your life. And there was also a point in my life where my doctor, when I was diagnosed, basically told me I wasn't going to achieve anything. And at that time, I mean, the whole title of my podcast is called Watch Me after him. If only I could send this to him to show him how wrong he was. Something in me knew he was wrong. I didn't have the proof yet. I didn't even have the roadmap to get better. The fear was still there and the confusion was still there. None of that changed the fact, though, that a part of me knew I was made for more. A lot of you know that feeling. That's why that dream keeps coming back. It's why the thought of not doing it makes you feel emotional. Your heart races when you imagine actually going for it because it's not random. Desire like that doesn't knock on the door for no reason. Direction often shows up as desire before it shows up as certainty. That part matters. Wanting more doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you ridiculous. It doesn't make you ungrateful. More than anything, it means you're awake enough to notice that life could be bigger than the version you've been tolerating. And you know what's huge here is motherhood belongs in this conversation too. It's not the whole thing, but it matters. Having kids does not erase the part of you that still wants more. It's okay to want something for yourself. Becoming somebody's mother does not cancel your identity as a woman with dreams. In some ways, actually, I think it raises the stakes. We all say we want our kids to be brave and use their voice and chase their dreams and become whatever they want to be. Beautiful. Love that. But what are they learning if they never see us do the same? What are they picking up if their example of adulthood is a mother who is settled, who got smaller, who got practical and slowly packed away those parts of herself that still wanted something big? I don't want that. I don't want that for you. Your kids deserve to see what it looks like when a woman goes for it. Fear can be present, but movement can still happen. Deep love for your family and deep loyalty to your own calling are allowed to exist at the same time. Chasing your dreams is not selfish in that context. It's leadership. I always say I'm raising my daughter to break glass ceilings, not fit into glass slippers. And another thing I keep thinking about is how often grown-ups asked us when we were little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we would say like a doctor or an astronaut or a teacher, a marine biologist, a firefighter, or some completely made up chaotic nonsense that made no, I want to be a unicorn tamer. I want to, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And everyone still smiled because that's what they do. That's what kids do. They dream. They dream without editing. Imagination just came naturally back then. Adulting hadn't got to them yet. But nobody, you don't say to the kid, okay, but be realistic when they're little. You don't say that. That doesn't happen until later. And age does this strange thing to people. The older we get, the more limits get handed to us, like their maturity. Stay in your lane. Pick something safer. Tone it down. Ask for less. Dream smaller. Be realistic. So let me ask you something. If I told you to think like a kid again, just for 1 minute, what would you want for your life? Not some polished answer or mature answer, and not the version that makes everybody around you more comfortable. I mean the real answer. I want you like audaciously dreaming, like closing your eyes. And if you could just make a list of everything you've ever wanted, unshamefully, unjudgmental. I mean, no one's seeing this list but you, and all these audacious dreams you could have for yourself. Like, tell me those. And that thing that feels a little too big to admit, once you got that in your head, here comes the harder part. Why can't you have it? Who convinced you that you couldn't? What's actually standing in your way? Why have you started acting like you don't deserve that thing that your heart keeps asking for? Maybe the dream isn't the crazy part. It's abandoning yourself. Confidence gets dragged in this conversation all the time, but usually in the wrong order. We keep treating it like some magical green light. One day we will wake up, we will feel brave enough or polished enough or ready enough, healed enough, sure enough, and then we'll finally move. Then we'll do the thing. That's not how this works. Action comes first, confidence catches up later. Think of the future version of yourself just for a second. She trusts herself. She follows through. She walks into rooms differently. Her energy is not based on pretending. It comes from evidence. She knows what she can handle because she handled things. That didn't happen because she waited to feel ready. Movement built that woman. Keeping her word to herself built that woman. Doing scary things while still scared built that woman. Repetition built that woman. If I'm honest, when I ask myself where I've been blaming timing, fear, motherhood, confidence, or other people, the answer is basically everywhere. That was not fun to admit, but it was true. And maybe that hits for you too. Timing can be real. Life can absolutely be full. Responsibility is real. Still, a lot of us use those things to hide from the deeper truth, which is we don't trust ourselves enough to begin. Later sounds innocent. A lot of the times, though, it's self-sabotage. Fear feels sophisticated when we want to use it to keep us small. It will sound mature and practical. It will sound responsible. Meanwhile, your dream is over there like, babe, hello, I've been ready. So let's make this practical, okay? Dreaming bigger is just not romanticizing some prettier version of your life. You don't get to call it dreaming bigger if it never touches your decisions. Real dreaming asks for action. It looks like signing up for the class or posting the video or starting the outline for the book or sending the email. It looks like asking for more, starting the baking business, writing a recipe. It looks like leaving the relationship or buying the domain www.whateveryouwantittobe.com, making the vision board, but then behaving like you actually believe these things could happen. You don't need more permission. It's movement is what you need. Fear does not have to disappear before you begin. Obeying it less would be a great start. And that's where that choose method comes from me on the confidence episode. Care for yourself enough to stop speaking to yourself like you're the enemy. Hear yourself talk and actually pay attention to what it's saying. Own your choices, especially the comfortable ones. Are you doing things that are uncomfortable? Because uncomfortable pushes you. And overcome through action because action breaks the loop that thinking can't. Show up for yourself consistently, not just when it feels exciting. Expand your proof by collecting evidence that you can trust yourself. None of that is just like cute stuff, I'm telling you. Like, it all works. The world does not need a smaller version of you. It doesn't need an edited version, the watered down version, or the version that keeps checking on the room before speaking. Your full voice matters. So does your full yes. And comfort has to be part of this conversation too, because people worship comfort like it is peace, and those are not always the same thing. Peace is beautiful and fulfilling and aligning, but comfort is the trap. Plenty of women are sitting in lives that no longer fit because it's familiar, it's comfortable. Familiar is not right. Numb is not the same thing as being safe. Common is not just the thing that is meant for you. Sometimes comfort is just like the slow death of the self. That's harsh, but you know what I mean, right? There are versions of ourselves we stay loyal to long after we've outgrown them. The ones who've learned how to survive, the ones who have stayed quiet, the ones who played nice, who didn't want to bother anybody, who waited. Letting that version run the rest of your life is a terrible plan. Something bigger might already be asking for you. If a dream was placed in your heart, that matters. And if it keeps coming back, if you keep thinking about it, if it keeps knocking on your door, that matters even more. If the thought of not doing it makes you emotional, that matters. Deep desire is not some cute side hobby to be entertained and dismissed. It's actually a roadmap. And here's the thing that really gets me. Like, I get so passionate about this conversation because I know all women are made for more in their life. And I just want you to see that too. And this conversation I can probably have with you 100 times over because I wanted more for myself and I was so scared for it and I'm going for it. And I want you to do it too. I want us to do this together. The scariest thing is not failing. The scariest thing for me is getting to the end of your life and meeting the woman you could have been. Whatever you believe in, God, the universe, the pearly gates, any of it, okay? Imagine getting shown at the very end of your life 2 highlight reels. One is the life you lived, and the other is a life that could have been if you would have trusted yourself and gone all in on what was placed inside of you. Now picture the stages you could have stood on, the words you could have written, the people you could have helped, the impact you could have made, the woman you could have become. Then imagine God or the universe looking at you and saying, babe, I gave you all of this for a reason. The gifts, the voice, the vision, the dream. I handed it to you because it was meant to happen through you and you alone. But now we have to throw it away. We have to lay all this down and throw away a life that could have been, inventions that could have been, things that could have been, because the world doesn't get it anymore. It was supposed to come through your life and your story and your courage and your uniqueness, and you never let it. That thought is what keeps me going. It wrecks me. You could have had it. You could have had more joy, more freedom, more impact, more life. Maybe not perfectly or easily, but still more than what fear talked you to settle for. So here's the question. Do you really want to get to the end of your life knowing you settled? Knowing fear made too many of your decisions? Knowing you didn't give yourself or the people you love the life that might have been possible because you were too scared to go after it? That's what scares me. Not failure, regret, a whole life of proof that something was in you and still dying with it untouched. So when this episode ends, I want one thing from you, one move, not a total reinvention by tonight, not a 5-year plan, not a perfect strategy, just one honest move. Send the email, post the thing, start the page, make the call, ask for more, sign up, say no to what keeps shrinking you. Say yes to the thing that stretches you in the right direction. One move that tells your future self, I'm coming. And then say this out loud. I am worth my dreams. My dreams were given to me for a reason. I do not need permission. I need action. Because listen to me, you are not here to spend your whole life proving you are allowed to want more. Rooms do not get to approve what your soul already knows. Your best work is not meant to stay trapped inside you. Courage is what your dream is asking for. Choice is what your future is waiting on. Confidence gets built the second you stop abandoning yourself. You are not waiting on confidence. Confidence is waiting on you. The dream is not asking you to be fearless. It's just asking you to be willing to move, to be seen, to believe that your life can be bigger than the limits other people have handed you. Go be the woman who went for it. And I'll say this like I always do. I love you. I'm proud of you and I believe in you. Maybe loving yourself, being proud of yourself, or believing in yourself feels hard right now, and that's okay. But until you can do that on your own, use my love and my belief in you to go up, get it, and go after it. Before I go, subscribe to the show, leave a 5-star review, and come hang out with me on Instagram at the Lauren Fritz or TikTok and YouTube at the Watch Me Pod. So go choose yourself today. See you next time.